are extremely excited for today's episode during our Fierce and Feminine series. Throughout the last couple of weeks, we've been able to hear different stories from our beauty coaches that we have. And today we have a special podcast prepared for you guys. Not only are they amazing women, but also are amazing friends and love the products too. So today we're going to have, let me get my paper because we need it. Okay, we are going to have a PTA physical therapist assistant, Ms. Valeria Gutierrez.
Hello.
Also my sister-in-law.
Yes.
And, okay, hold on, you guys. PT, DPT, Doctor of Physical Therapy, and she has a Certificate of Achievement in Obstetric Physical Therapy. Miss Maiela Martinez Garza, welcome. And also one of my amazing best friends that I've known for, since high school. So a pleasure to have you ladies here.
Thanks for having us.
How do you guys feel?
Excited.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So in this episode, we wanted to touch women's health. We wanted to talk about, not only do we focus on, empowering you and the nutrition and the fitness aspect, but with their expertise, we're going to be able to hear, how is it that we can help take care of certain issues that we women have, and certain scenarios that maybe even they see in their workplace, and how we can really take care of that, right? I think more importantly, it's not always just about the workout. It's not always about, just getting skinny or anything like that. How is it that we can truly get better, right, in everything that we do? So before we get into it, why don't you share a little bit about yourselves? That way the girls can get to know you.
Can I go first, Maiela?
Sure.
Go for it.
Well, so like Jerry said, we've known each other longer than we've been friends, but we became friends, and
that's the truth.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of history. We've been there for each other through good times and bad times, through 3 babies. So I'm a mom of 3, C-section mom of 3 actually, and we'll touch on that a little bit later in our talk here. I have a bachelor's degree in exercise and sports science, and then I went on to get my doctorate of physical therapy. And so then I decided, right, let's just study some more, do some more school, why not? So then I took several courses. It took about 3 years or so, and COVID kind of slowed that down a little bit. But it took a few years to get that certificate in obstetric physical therapy. So that kind of gives me a little specialty in pregnancy and postpartum PT.
I was going to ask you, what is obstetric? What does that mean for the girls like me who aren't?
Yeah. So obstetrics, right, deals with the pregnant woman and the postpartum phases of our lives here. Okay. And a little bit on that, like, before you even get pregnant, there's a lot of research to suggest that, y'all know, right, healthy eating and keeping your body fit and strong can help you in that regard too. So
awesome. Awesome. And what about you, Val?
So, yes, I'm Valeria Gutierrez. I am Jerry's sister-in-law. I've been also friends with Maiela for a very long time. Maiela was actually one of my very first supervising PTs as soon as I graduated from the PTA program. She actually wrote one of my letter of recommendations as well.
The best one,
Thank you. That's why I got in. But yeah, I have my bachelor's in exercise and sports science, and then I got my PTA degree here at STC, the PTA program. I've been a PTA for about 4 years now. Yeah. So me and Maiela used to work together. That's too. Right.
We're both Bobcats from Texas State University.
Me too. 6 months.
Yes. So Texas State alumni.
You still went.
You still went. You still went. Yeah. So now I work at an outpatient clinic here in McAllen. I deal more with like orthopedic issues, things like that. that. We'll get a little bit into it. I don't work as much with like the obstetrics as Maiela does. We do get a little bit, not as much. But yeah, basically just working there right now. Been doing it for 4 years, having a good time. But
what is like the most common, since you guys, do work inside of physical therapy, what is like the most common things that you see when people come in there? It's like this is what we see so much that could definitely be prevented before you even, trying to go there.
Yeah, well,
I bet you if we did like a 1, 2, 3, we'd probably have
the same
answer.
Yes. At our clinic, we see a lot of people for low back pain. That's probably one of the most common ones because, I mean, everybody kind of has a low back pain, but yeah, that's probably the main one. Another diagnosis that we see a lot that a lot of people don't know could be treated by physical therapy is actually for headaches. We see a lot of people that experience headaches on the daily, and a lot of people think that there's just medication for that. But there's actually a lot of stretches and exercises that you can do to help you out with that. So we see a lot of that and a lot of neck pain for sure, which is sometimes related to the headaches as well. So I'd say probably those are the main ones. Yeah, we do get some shoulders, some knees here and there, but those are probably the top 3, I would say.
Yep.
Would you agree?
I would agree. Yeah.
And so why like, for example, I know that lately, I thought it was age, right? But lately, it's been like the lower back pain. Sometimes I feel like my lower back hurts. And so why do you think that is the cause? What causes that in today's world for people/women to have that?
I know a lot of our patients is simply just lack of movement. A lot of them just have a lot of desk jobs where they're sitting at their desk for almost 8 hours a day with minimal breaks throughout.
There's so much remote work.
Yes.
Now, too.
Especially now after COVID. I know after COVID, we saw a lot of increase in patients because of the lack of, and a lot of them, they attribute it to that. They're like, yeah, we just got lazy over that time, stopped moving, and your muscles like for you to use them. And when you stop using them, that's when the pain comes in. So yeah, a lot of the times it's just simply lack of movement, I would say.
Lack of movement, and if I might add, lack of strength as well. So, everybody hears, you have to strengthen your core. But at the same time, most people are like, how do I do that?
Yeah.
And that's a perfect reason to go see a physical therapist, is so that you can have, an expert in that teach you the right muscles to target, the right exercises to target those muscles, and just kind of give you like a personalized plan for that.
Love that. And talking about strength, the girls that are in the challenge, and usually people that listen to this podcast, they're inside of a challenge. Maybe they already have a nutrition plan. Maybe we actually have a personal trainer that creates a regimen, and we have a channel where every single day they get the workout of the day, right? And so talking about strength, it's like, you get the workout of the day, and I mean, it's amazing, right? You get your video, you get the, how you can do the exercises. And then there's this little thing called the warm-up. And it's like the first thing you see with like 3 or 4 exercises, and then you're like the workout, whether it's a leg workout, a back workout, an arm workout, full body, whatever. I don't know if you guys have ever been guilty of this. Please tag us, okay, if this helps you. But many people are guilty of skipping the warm-up and going straight into the workout. So what do you guys think about that? Is stretching important? How important is it? Is the warm-up important? Is it the same? Is it different? How can we help the women in our community understand, why these workouts are created a certain way?
Okay, well, yes, the warm-up is very important, ladies. Do not skip that one. Me personally, is stretching important? Yes, it is important. Personally, for me, what works best, I prefer before a workout to do what we call dynamic stretching. And dynamic stretching, that just means that you're stretching more like with movement. So it's kind of like, I remember you in high school and your coach would have you do like the high knees, the karaoke, all of those things, the jumping jacks, things like that. So it's kind of warming it up. So I personally prefer that before a workout, before I get into my workout. And I've actually been in those chats before and I've seen those warm-ups. Those are good warm-ups. Don't skip those. Yeah, those are really, really important. That's kind of like the type of warm-ups that I like to do, the dynamic ones.
That's called dynamic stretching.
That's dynamic. It's more like you're stretching while you're moving at the same time. You're not really holding the stretch.
Okay.
And then I do my workout, and then at the end, that's when I'll like to throw in more of like what we call the static stretching. That's when you actually hold the stretch. So like when you touch your toes and you count to 30, that's more what I like to do at the end. Kind of like to cool it down. I will throw a couple of those in my warm-up as well, but I like to do more of like the dynamic stretching before. I don't know, how would you think about that, Maiela?
I completely agree. Did I teach you or what?
Did you?
No.
Yes.
No, but same philosophy for me. I mean, think about it, right? You can't go like 0 to 60, right? And expect not to have some injury or something that kind of, trips you up. And so that dynamic warm up is extremely important. It's meant to gradually increase your heart rate, right? Because you can't just put your heart to work like, hey, you got to go, right? I got to, run a marathon, right?
Yeah.
You got to train for it and you got to work your way up. And so that's what that dynamic warm up is for. And I've been in the challenges and I've seen them. And sometimes you think you're like, well, I thought the warm up was the workout.
I know,
That's how good they are.
That's
so
good.
please do not skip the warm ups. Like, they're there for a reason, and the personal trainers have tailored them for a specific reason for you, and that's to help you. So
Yes.
everybody, please don't skip.
Don't
the
skip
warm-up.
them. They're good for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. So, inside of the obstetric field, which is also maybe there's this common thing called the pelvic floor, right? How would we understand, right, before getting pregnant, during, and after, being able to take care of that? Because at least for me, I'm also a mom of 3. I gave birth, go straight home, start breastfeeding, start doing all these things, and it's like you're not really thinking of taking care of yourself in that manner. And whenever you do think of taking care of yourself, right, because self-love, ladies, right, we think of, oh, let me get on a diet, let me work out, let me get thin, let me do this, but we might miss this part of our recovery.
Yep. So definitely important to be aware of your own body, right? Mostly women who are pregnant or who have had children, and y'all can answer this in your minds, ladies. Y'all can answer it at home, right? But I mean, sneezing after having a baby, right? Or coughing or laughing. I mean, how many women, right, have to like, oh no, hold on, I have to close my legs, right? Or trying to jump and you're like, no, because I feel like exactly, right? You might leak a little bit, or you laugh too much, and you got to run to the bathroom, right? I mean, it happens, right? We've put our body through, and I can say it's a trauma, right, that your body goes through. And, kudos to every woman who has gone through any type of pregnancy, labor, delivery, no matter what kind. It's a trauma to the body, and recovering from it is not easy. And so my biggest advice for that is, if you notice those little things, right? So if easy things like bending down, or like bending down to, you're gonna have to pick up the baby, right? Pick up the car seat. If things like that, make you feel like you're leaking, or like you can't hold it and you have to go to the restroom really quickly, sneezing, coughing, laughing, any of those things, those are indicators of a weak pelvic floor. And there's nothing wrong with that. It happens to all of us. It's just identifying that and not being afraid to speak up, talk to your doctor about it, and ask to see a pelvic floor therapist. Even a physical therapist can help you with that. But that kind of all ties into strengthening. Is we have to have a strong body to withstand the demands of life, really, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so how would you say that, this is not a podcast to promote everybody going on and having babies. but okay, how would you say, like, hey, if you're thinking of getting pregnant, having more babies, expanding your family, how would you say that you could prevent that? You know, like a lot of the times there's these myths, like you're pregnant, don't work out, the baby's gonna pop out, right? Or don't jump, or don't do this. And it's like, you stop, it's like, I'm pregnant, I can't do anything. Like, and so is that true? Is it not? Like, how can you be strong to avoid, you know, the weakness? Or does that weakness come just from delivering the baby and then you have to work on it?
Right. So it's a yes and a no, right? Now, for some women, you know, they may have other, what we call comorbidities, right? Other factors within their life and their health that may prevent them from being able to participate in a workout routine. So it's always important to speak to your doctor beforehand to get clearance and make sure that it's okay for you to begin an exercise program. The general rule is that your particular activity level before getting pregnant can be continued throughout pregnancy, as long as there are no risks to the mom's health and to the baby's health. Again, make sure you get clearance from your doctor for that. And that's where, you know, like a certified physical therapist in that area comes in to know the things to look out for, to tell you, you know, we need to back off a little bit here, or it's okay to do this. The myth about like, oh, you can't lift anything. I think about this, right? With my third baby, I had a 5-year-old and I had a 7-year-old. And I mean, tell me that I can't lift my 5-year-old at sometimes when he's there going like, Mom, you know, carry me, I hurt my foot or something, right? Or, I mean, there's moms that have toddlers and they're pregnant. And you think about how much those kids weigh, right? Toddler, you know, let's say between 20 and 30 pounds. But the myth, right, and maybe it's cultural, it probably is a little bit cultural, right, is, you know, like, don't lift anything more than 5 pounds. Like, well, I have a baby who's 20 pounds, you know, I have to. And again, that's where strengthening and body mechanics and, you know, proper form and things come in, because there's ways that you can protect yourself, protect the baby, protect your pelvic floor, and still be able to play with your kids and, you know, lift the baby and things like that. So,
Nice. Love it. So, girls, get your workouts in.
Yes.
Before, during, and after. Make it a lifestyle, right?
Yes.
So you don't
that's really a good way to look at it.
You know, you don't stop your way of being because we're now pregnant or because we're now moms.
Right.
We can encourage a healthy and active lifestyle, which, you know, is very admirable from both of you, because both of you have a very hectic schedule. You know, you have full days, and then you still fit that right into your routine.
Try
where
to.
you're like, we got to.
Yes.
So yes, inside of that recovery, does it make a difference from having a baby vaginal or having a C-section? Like, does it affect you differently? Is it the same?
Yes and no, right? Every woman is going to be a little bit different, but it all, it depends on different factors, right? Just because you had a C-section doesn't mean that, you know, everything down there hasn't been affected at all, right? You still carried and created a baby for 9 months, right? Your body still changed. There could still be pressure in that area that, you know, still needs to heal afterwards. And even, you know, women who have vaginal deliveries, you know, some have very traumatic deliveries, right? You know, you can have what's called perineal tearing, and some require, you know, stitches. So now you're dealing with the baby, and then you got to deal with stitches down there. And, you know, it's all just a difficult recovery. And I see Val's face.
I know,
and she's like,
I know all my mommies that don't have babies yet.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Like, y'all are scaring me.
Making
I'm
me
kidding.
cringe. But, you know, it varies person to person, and it varies with, you know, the prep work that goes into it. Again, the individual, you know, mom's health beforehand too plays a factor into it. And then also support system afterwards. So, you know, having a support system like Team Beauty and you know, other moms around you, or even just other friends to support you with with whatever you need, I mean, that makes recovery so much easier. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, I remember when I had my kids, lower back pain is a big deal, right? Also because we're working from home, or maybe on our cell phone, or maybe on the couch, you're slouching, your posture's not the best, and so all of these things start to become affected. And I actually went into the clinic with you guys, and I remember the physical therapist there was like, do your booty workouts, girl.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay. So maybe most of the time, us that lack that education or that experience in this field where we know the science behind it or anything like that, right? We look at the workout, or we look at, the fitness part as just, I'm going to get a big booty, small waist, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get like all of these things that are maybe like external, right?
Yeah.
And not really think that it's all really connected to the strength in your core, the strength in your body. So
Definitely.
when he told me that, I was like, okay, that's gonna fix it, right?
Yeah.
So taking that a little bit more seriously, your workout, your fitness, or the things that you do, what can you guys say in that, right? In strengthening the core, like how is that all aligning women's health and all of this that we're talking about?
Cool. You want to do that one? Women's health?
Sure,
That's you.
yeah.
Yes, that's you.
Well, women's health, but also, I mean, it applies to everybody's health in general, right? I mean, you hear it, right? Strengthen the glutes, right? Just like you said, the body workout. But something that I tell my patients is it's a chain, right? Everything from the top down is connected. And so, when you do these workouts, right, you think, like you said, right, all of those are added benefits, they're external,
Right.
but you're really getting all those internal benefits, all those little muscles that you don't know that you had. You start strengthening them, and then you start seeing some differences, right?
Yeah.
Maybe your posture's a little bit better. Maybe you notice, I can carry more. I can carry my kid all throughout the mall because he didn't want to sit in his stroller and not feel that back pain that I had before. And those are the benefits that you don't see but that are so important.
Feeling good, basically,
For sure.
Okay, and how can we, start there? Maybe someone's already drinking water, someone's already eating good, they're already in the challenge, they might be working out. How can we help them act on it and change the perspective of like it isn't only us trying to get skinny or thin, it's actually helping heal your body. And so I know sometimes when we also, when we get pregnant or we get this like pouch right in our belly, and we blame it all the time on our children. But is it really that, or is it the weak core? Is it, can it all come back into its normal space without us, maybe trying to do shortcuts or, going into more like extreme surgeries and stuff like that?
Yeah. It's definitely tied right to your, I guess you can say your physique, right?
Right.
We're all built a little bit different. We have different metabolisms too. We can also literally have different body structures, right? Our bones can be, formed a little differently one person to the next. Skin too, right? That tissue elasticity, girls. Collagen helps with that. Gotta tighten everything back up. Hydration, right? I mean, that hydration helps with your skin stay nice and firm. It's nothing new. It's just maybe something that we don't think about, like man, all these things. I think I just have to do ab work, but it's all the little things that you put together. But strengthening the core, making sure that that you're engaging the core,
engaging it throughout the day,
right? Or even learning just how to facilitate those muscles. Those are like the terms that we like to use, but it's another word for like turning them on,
setting that connection there.
That I think a lot of times afterwards we kind of just lose that connection. We don't think about it, and just take some retraining.
Yeah, one of my friends used to tell me that she was like, right now that you're talking about that, I like sucking it in, tightening my stomach.
Posture.
Yes. But that literally, like, she reminds herself all the time, like, hey, like, tighten up, right? Tighten up. And so that is going to help also, right? That's what you're saying at the end of the day, right? Make sure that you remind yourself
just
of
being
that.
conscious, like, hey, straighten up.
And so
like
to add to that, right? I'm also not saying like you don't have to, have your abs flexed like all day long,
right?
Because so going back to the pelvic floor a little bit, right? If you keep things tight all day, well, eventually it's gonna lead to more problems, right? And I mean, who can tolerate that and stay like that all day? But it's good to give yourself those reminders, especially when you're doing different activities, right? If you're gonna lift something from the floor, make sure that you turn those muscles on. If you're, gonna pick up the baby, pick up the car seat, right? Pick up the diaper bag. How many times a day do we have to pick up toys off the floor? Y'all know my life, right? Those little moments
things
are where we have to, get that connection going to just that it's automatic. Those muscles are working there.
Even just setting up like a proper workspace. A lot of times, like I'll ask my patient, okay, like how does your desk setup look? And they'll be like, I'm like this, or like here, and I'm like, no, okay, let me pull up a picture. You're supposed to be, here, arms here, and just doing little things like that. They'll come back and they're like, wow, like I wish I would have just known this years ago. Little things like that, little changes can make a huge difference.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, because a lot of the times when you're working from phone or from home, right?
There's actually a thing called text neck, guys, right? Have you heard text where it's just like, and it's like a syndrome that people get because you're just on their phone all day and you start to develop problems. Text neck. Yep. Text neck. That's what it's called.
Okay, and so how do you...
Gotta strengthen. Be conscious about the posture, strengthen all these little muscles here, back here, all of that. So it's just, a lot of that repetition, being consistent, a lot of strengthening, stretching, not being on your phone so much. Maybe bring it up here instead.
I'm going to buy a hat.
Yeah, you're going to get the little thing there.
Yeah, so let's talk about action, right? Yeah. As we round up here, let's talk about action. You guys have given us so many insights about the importance of, stretching and or warming up, not skipping that, the importance of preparing, before having kids, during and after. And so for many of our women that are in the challenge, I always like to give them, action after the empowerment call. So like, what can you guys say as they tackle on this new week, right? That they can implement where they are with what they have, remember these things, like these are key, do this whole week and you're gonna see a difference. So what would you say would be good recommendations or action steps that they can take on for themselves, that way they could see a difference this week?
That's a good one. I can give you, I guess, like my personal account, right? Is I try and, I have a target of how many steps I'm going to try and complete per day, right, or accomplish. Technology has some benefits, right? My watch tells me that I haven't stood up in a while, or hey, I'm behind on my goals. So, I try and make it a point, even for my kids too, right? I want them to see that. I want them to see me being active. So, we have a target of, okay, we have dinner at 7, and at 8 o'clock we're gonna go outside, and for 30 minutes we're gonna go for a walk, and we're gonna take the dogs for a walk, and just something as simple as that. It just really helps change everybody's mood, right? Gets the heart rate going a little bit. It makes you feel better, and you're also benefiting your health and your function there. So I would say find like that one little thing that you can do. Because right, when we create goals, right, they have to be realistic and attainable, right? Specific, measurable, all those. It's smart. I didn't say it in the right order, sorry. But think about one little thing that you can achieve, one change that you can make, and then build on that from there. Now I've done this one. Now what's the next one that I'm going to do? Maybe it's, I'm going to park farther when I get to work, I'm going to take the long way. And,
Yeah.
Take the stairs.
Take the stairs.
Thing, right? Little things like that.
Do a little competition with your friend on the watch. I love doing that.
Yeah.
I get Maiela's notifications whenever she does anything. I'm like, oh, okay, my turn. Little things like that to stay motivated is always good.
What else would you say?
Yeah, just staying consistent too. I know it's hard sometimes, get discouraged. You're like, I didn't do so good today. But hey, sometimes just doing something like going out for a walk or, doing something is better than nothing. Setting little goals. Personally, I always set one small goal in the morning. It could be something as easy as, okay, today I'm going to make somebody smile or something like that. And then I just make sure that goal is met. And then once you meet that goal, it's like, okay, tomorrow, let me do 2 more. And like things like it just kind of builds from there. So yeah, like Maiela said, setting little goals throughout the day. Find a friend that can hold you accountable. That always works really well for me. But yeah, little things like that.
Awesome.
Stay motivated.
One of the things that, I obviously said it in the beginning, you guys are both very inspiring because everything that you've been able to accomplish in your career, but also internally, familiar with your family, relational. And so we're all human, right? We're all women, we're all emotional. And so I wanted you guys to open up a little bit and share with the girls. It's like, you are a mom, obviously tackling the goals that you're trying to achieve in life. And so whenever you get the setbacks, whenever you get, I'm not motivated moments, right? What is it that you personally do in order to continue, break through, and, finish through to whatever it is that you want to personally accomplish? There's hundreds and thousands of women right now that are, challenging themselves maybe for the very first time. It's something new. They're out of their comfort zone. It's like, I'm going to try this. And they don't know if they can continue. They don't know if, they can keep on going in something so simple like loving themselves and, truly finding what makes them happy. So for you, inside of your life, what is that, one thing that you would share with them, that you personally took on? I don't know, maybe it would be a motto or a quote or that little thing you tell yourself, that obviously keeps you going to continue being the best version of yourself.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a tough
That's
one.
intense, girl.
So y'all don't know, but we prepared their professional topics, and now
Getting personal as
This is a bonus.
Yeah.
This is the bonus.
I know. For me, I don't do the Herbalife misses, right? But I have gone to a lot of y'all's like the conferences and things like that. And something that I learned from there is to always find your why, right? So find your why. Me, I don't have kids or anything like that, right? But my why personally, I love what I do. I really do love what I do. And my why right now is my patients. And I feel that if I want to make them feel better, I myself need to be well and I need to be feeling good. Because if I'm not feeling good, how am I supposed to go and make all of these people feel better? Even if I know what I'm doing, my mood and my energy, it's still going to affect them. So I guess for me, my why right now is just, my profession, my patients. I really care about them right now. I always will, obviously, right? But that's my why at the moment, just that I want to feel good so I can help others feel good.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Love
That's
that.
what it is.
You make me follow that.
You have your kids and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, well, one time somebody asked me a similar question to that, and my answer, and this is a joke, right? But my answer was like, work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But although that was a while ago. So in all seriousness, I think I just have to just give myself a break, or it's okay to not have everything figured out. Right. It's okay to, I had all these things on my list and we didn't get to them, or, we were late to a couple things. It's okay. It's, stop, take a breath, give yourself grace, and then just kind of move on and lean on your friends and your family that you have. If we still have some time, I'll give you a quick story, right? today, right? I hadn't seen you in a little while, and I was telling you about, trying to get back into running because I see you. My watch tells me Val finished 5 miles over here.
Stop.
And so, well, funny story is what about 3 or 4 years ago, right? I mean, Val was my running partner, and every day we were out there, and I was trying to keep up with her, right? I never could pass her.
You would
but
keep up.
like you always want to put yourself right with people who are going to make you work harder, right? Make you better. And so I always, I gotta keep up with her. That was before my third kid, right? After my third kid, I'm over here like sweating, drenched in sweat for a 30-minute walk outside, And so the nice thing was, Val said, hey, add me on Nike Running Club.
Yeah.
And so just that, like, a little bit of validation, but also like, yeah, I still have a friend here who's, going to cheer me on and is going to support me with, that's okay. If you do 1 mile, right? If you do 2 miles, like, I'm here for you and I'm proud of you. And so
always.
You.
Yes, of course. Yes. And we're going to get some runs in, girl.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll be way behind you.
No, you're
So the girls know, right? You guys obviously have been a part of the challenges. You love the product. So what is your favorite product?
Mine is the tea. I love the tea, the raspberry one. Oh, it's my favorite. I love it. It's the best. I can't live without it. That for sure. And then lately I've gotten really into, what is it, the BCA? Those are good, girl. I like those
BCAA.
two.
Ooh,
Yes.
I haven't tried those.
Yeah, those are good. Yeah, I like them. So those right now is, but for sure the tea is number one always, but now that one's up there too.
Okay. Maya?
That's like one of those, if you were on a deserted island and you could only take one product with you.
We'll do the tea.
Yeah. Mine's going to be, I'm going to cheat a little bit. It's going to be the tea and aloe combo. Like that is, every day. If I run out, I'm mad at my husband. Like, you're supposed to tell me when we're running low so I could reorder, right?
Yeah.
So, but yep, gotta have it.
Gotta have the energy. That's what gets us through. That's what gets us through. All right, and to finish off, when is it the right time to see a physical therapist? What should I ask? Do I have to be hurt to go see one? Like, what is the exact, time or proper time, if ever needed, that I would seek physical therapy?
Anytime is the right time.
Yes.
Yep.
Anytime. And I get patients sometimes that they're like, oh, I've had this for the last year. And I'm like, no. A lot of people think that living in pain is normal, and it's not. You shouldn't be in pain all the time. So I think that sometimes we're like, it'll go away. And the longer you wait, the longer it's going to take for you to recover. So don't wait too long. If you feel like something's off, get it taken care of right away, for sure.
Yep, definitely. And, prevention is key. I have some patients that come in, because they feel like they don't have enough strength. They don't have pain, but they feel like, I think I could be doing better. And so they come in just for that.
Right.
So,
Athletes too, they're prepping for like a big race or something, feel something's off, they want to make sure their mechanics, everything is good, can go as well too. So anytime.
Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying yes to this invitation and being part of our empowerment podcast.
Yes. Thanks for having us.
I know the girls are truly going to enjoy it. Don't forget to tag us. Okay, tag us. Let us know what was your favorite takeaway. You can always reach out to these ladies as well. And we will see you guys next week.
Yes.